All right. You have to heed that commercial. I'm telling you, listen to it. Annual notice of change. ANOC is coming. ANOC, A-N-O-C. It's very important. This is a big time of the year. It is not junk mail, people. Make sure my seniors out there, the people that have saved me, make sure you watch out for the ANOC. Okay, I am lucky enough to have on the phone, I couldn't get her to come into the studio because she's extremely busy. She's been teaching at Takeo Post. She's opening up a new corporate office. It's Attorney Carla Erickson. Carla, can you hear me? Michael Regan.
I can hear you, Michael.
Yes, all right.
Pleasure to be on the line with you.
Oh, I'm just honored. I must tell my listening public we've been friends for over 18 years. Back when you and your family opened up a fantastic restaurant called Jessica Meals in Naugatuck. You and I were just starting out. I'm doing this for 21 years. I think you're on 20, correct? Or probably more.
Well, yeah, we don't like to remember all those numbers, though, because if we've been doing this that long, it means that we're that much older.
I think you and I were like 13 when we started, so it doesn't matter.
We were.
All right. So anyway, along the years, we've developed a friendship and a complete trust for one another, and I consider you my go-to attorney, especially for elder care. I use Bob Lubis at Grady and Riley. He and I work well together, but you don't compete at all in the particular cases you handle. You're extremely well being the trustee. I know that because I've spoken to you and your staff. I've even spoke Spanish to one of the employees of someone you look out for her. No names for HIPAA reasons on the show. And congratulations on the new corporate office.
Well, thank you.
Yes,
I'm excited.
We've got Carla Erickson, Attorney Carla Erickson on the phone. Why don't you give yourself a little plug, and then we can open up the phone lines for people who would have questions for you.
Okay. Well, I grew up in Prospect, and that's where my new office, well, I've been in Prospect practicing on my own for quite a while, but I'm actually opening up my new law office in Prospect. It's at 37 Waterbury Road in the Smed's Realty building. I'm on the second floor there.
Great.
But I have been practicing since 1994, and I did an entire smattering of legal matters, including everything from personal injury, bankruptcy, foreclosure, divorce, real estate, probate, you name it.
Right.
And then in 2000, when the children were coming along into my life, my children were born, I couldn't keep up with all the different tasks that are associated with the general practice, and I became very involved with elder matters and elder law.
Which is my show, Medicare and You. So you've got to be listening to this woman out there, people.
Right. So I started focusing back in 2000 on elder law, and that's really been my main area of practice since about 2000. Mostly I've been on my own since 2003, and it's been really the main area of my practice. And I still do real estate and probate and estates and even some small business consultations, but elder law is just kept me so busy. It's just it's an area that you really need a lot of knowledge to navigate, because especially if you're dealing with the social programs that are available to the elderly, and Medicaid, which is constantly changing, constantly being changed through the Uniform Policy Manual and the different cases that are occurring. You really have to keep yourself up to speed with that, and that's really what I've been focusing on since 2003.
Correct. With the changes to the QMB and the SLMB, you've got to know what you're talking about. You cannot just be BSing this.
Yeah, and the unfortunate thing is that with this QMB, unless the elderly had COMPACE and they were kind of pushed into this program, people don't know about it.
No, nobody knows about the Medicare Savings Program. Correct. We try to bring it, but this particular area doesn't outreach the entire state of Connecticut. We only have our little microcosm here.
Right. And it's unfortunate because people are, not realizing the various benefits that are available to them, that they could save their Medicare Part B premium.
It's $99.90 a month times 12.
Yes. And when people are living on fixed income,
Of course,
and they still have their house taxes to pay and all of the rest of their expenses, that's a lot of money for them.
Correct. Now, let me go back and touch on something I know you're a specialist at. With Nancy Wyman coming into the Governor Malloy administration, they canceled the ConPACE program. Connecticut Pharmaceutical Assistance Program was the baby. Then, thank God, there was a federal grant that stepped up and said, you know what, we are losing so many seniors to God's waiting room, Florida. We need to have a program called a Medicare Savings Program that is basically, you're not on welfare, you're on low-income subsidies. So for the single, it's $27,000. For the married couple, it's $38,000. Do you have exact numbers on that?
Well, for the Medicare Savings Program,
Correct.
It's an income. There's income
Right, earned
eligibility
income.
for that.
Right.
So it would, the new, I don't know if I have them handy here. Let me see if I have
I work
yeah.
with the Western Connecticut Agency on Aging quite a
Right.
bit, and those are the most recent facts they got me. 27,704 and 38 something.
Well, that's a different program, but the QMB program has different income limits, and it's not an asset-based program,
Right.
Michael. So, let's say for the highest level of the QMB beneficiary program, the monthly income for one person could be $2,024.84, and they're going to qualify for this highest level of this QMB, which is not only will save them their Medicare Part B premium, but it also acts like a Medigap insurance. But even if someone is over income, they still can qualify for the specified low-income Medicare beneficiary.
Well done, Slimby. Yeah. That's exactly right. Quimby and Slimby. Genius. All right, so I have clients that need you. A friend of mine, Paula, asked me the other day, her particular situation is that she feels her daughter's husband's father was wronged in a skilled nursing facility. They actually did more than one thing wrong. Could you take that case and at least research it for me?
Well, mostly when you have cases where people are wronged by a medical facility or a medical provider,
Correct.
There's a specialized area of law, and it's medical malpractice law. That would fall under the arm of medical malpractice law. But one of the avenues that people can take where they feel that things are happening that they're not happy with, or things happen to their elderly parent or their elderly loved one, they can contact the state ombudsman's office.
Which is the Victoria Veltri, a very good friend of mine.
Right, which prompts basically a look into the practices happening at the particular facility.
Okay.
And they go through and they do an analysis and they come up with results. They also come up with recommendations to the facility to try to remedy the issues that they found. So that's a helpful way for people to make sure that the level of care that they're expecting is being implemented for their loved one in these skilled nursing facilities. Then if there is really negligence or, really egregious behavior going on, certainly if anyone is wrong, they, should consult with a medical malpractice attorney, an attorney who specializes in that area.
Got it. All right. Anyone who needs the Office of the Healthcare Advocate phone number, call in. I talk to Maureen Smith and Victoria Veltri on a weekly basis over there. They're good friends of mine. All right, how can we plug Carla Erickson? What's something you particularly specialize in, and what's a good referral for you?
Well, one of the areas that really I practice, my main area of practice, again, is in elder law. And elder law involves many different levels of care, so to speak. There's elder care planning, meeting with elderly clients and even their children who are taking care of them, and talking to them about the various federal and state programs that may be available to provide a level of care for their parent, whether they would like to stay in the community, in their child's home, in their own home. But there's various programs that are out there, and they're applicable, and they could be a great benefit to the elderly. Many people don't know about them.
Right.
There's also let's say, for instance, the Connecticut Home Care Program for Elders, which is a wonderful program that's been in place quite a long time. One of the great changes that has happened with this program is it's been kind of merged, so to speak, with another program that was available to disabled adults. And it was the PCA waiver program. It's the Personal Care Assistance Waiver Program. And in 2010, there was an analysis that was done at the state level as to whether or not the benefits under the PCA waiver program could benefit the elderly community. And they determined that it could. So they expanded the Connecticut Home Care Program for elders and added on this PCA waiver kind of arm to it. And what that program does provide for the elderly is a higher level of care that allows them to remain in their homes as long as they have the, they have the medical need and they have the income and they meet the income and asset requirements. It could provide a great benefit to the elderly. So that's one of the programs that I talk to my clients about. Another program that many elderly aren't aware of is the veterans benefits that are available to veterans who served at least one day of active duty during a time of war and were discharged under circumstances other than dishonorably. So if they served at least one day of active duty, and I don't mean on the front lines or anything, but
active duty is the term.
Active duty during a time of war. They could be eligible for a veterans benefit, and that veterans benefit is called a Veterans Aid and Attendance Pension. And it could provide up to $1,704 a month to a veteran who has medical needs, who needs assistance, and they're looking for ways to pay for this assistance to help them stay in their home or stay comfortable or stay safe. So it could provide a significant pension. It could provide up to $1,094 for a spouse of a deceased veteran. So if, for instance, my own grandmother, her husband served in World War II. He was a pilot in World War II, and he, when he passed away, he received a discharge paper called a DD-214.
Well done. Good knowledge.
And that paper basically could be used by the surviving spouse when they get older and when they have needs to enable them to obtain that pension. And a surviving spouse can receive up to $1,094 a month.
All right, so your knowledge obviously rocks. Why don't you plug your phone number and your agency, and all of my listeners who have any need for the VAPE program. I think we call it the VAAP program, correct?
Well, it's the
Veterans Assistance and
Aid and Attendance.
Yeah, Aid and
the
Attendance.
Veterans Aid and Attendance Pension. So if you're looking to get in touch with me, I'd be happy. Not only do I do consultations in my new law office, which is at 37 Waterbury Road, between the icon landmarks and Prospect of the Prospect Dairy Bar and Webster Bank. That's where I am in the Smetty's Realty
Nothing wrong with plugging Webster Bank.
So that's where my office is located. But I also do house calls. Because I deal with an elderly community, I am always out and happy to meet with my clients at their home if that is more accommodating for them. And my telephone number in my office is 203-527-9307. And if someone is looking for me, I know you know me, Michael, by my married name, but my full name is Carla Erickson.
And if that was too fast, you can always call on the radio show or call G.S. Regan Associates. We're personal friends, Carla and I, and I'll make sure you get in contact with her. I cannot thank you enough. A good friend of mine is going to be calling you. She's having some prescription problems, so I'm going to have her reach out to you and try to get that resolved.
Absolutely. Be happy to help.
I sincerely appreciate your time. Carla Erickson, elder law attorney, and congratulations on the new office.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you so much.
All right.
Okay.
Kicking butt on the radio on a Wednesday. Now, I know you're out there laughing at me, but people have to care about this particular age bracket. Nobody does. Nobody is out there reaching out to the seniors. They're just telling them to knit a sweater and drink wine during lunch, or I don't know, but just You know, they're people too. They actually raised us, and we're very respectful of our elders. All right, 2 calls or 2 minutes, Producer Tom? Two calls. All right, I will try to take the calls. Michael Regan, Medicare and You, how are you?
Hi, Michael. This is Linda calling. I'm having a problem with one of my scripts.
Okay, no names for HIPAA reasons. You said your first name. Is it okay if I call you by that?
That's correct.
Okay, so the caller is Linda. Try not to say your last name.
Okay,
go ahead. State your problem and how can we help you?
Okay. About a couple of years ago, I was put on a medication called Embryo for my arthritis, and I've been getting it through CuraScript every 4 months.
Okay, CuraScript is usually associated with mail-order
Blue
drug
Cross,
through
right.
Anthem. Correct.
Right,
Okay,
that's correct.
And you're going a little fast, slow. The name of the script?
Embryo. It's ENBREL. It's 50 milligrams syringe.
Is that Embrel? EMBREL?
That's correct.
Okay, so that's for arthritis or serious psoriasis. So what's your scenario?
Mine is inflammatory arthritis.
Arthritis. Okay, rheumatoid?
It's similar to rheumatoid.
Okay, so clearly just we'll state arthritis for the situation. Okay.
Okay. I've been getting this medication every 4 months, and CuraScript calls me and tells me it's time to renew it, so I say go ahead, and they send it along.
So you get it 3 times a year?
That's correct.
And the 4 month supply is enough?
Well, it's I get it every 4 months, but it's enough for 3 months supplies. I get it 4 times a year, basically.
So you get it on a quarterly basis, not every 4 months. You get it every 3 months, but on a quarterly basis, so it arrives at the end of the 3rd month.
That's correct.
All right, this is no brainer. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, this last shipment that I received should have been refilled in September. However, they called me in August and said it's time to renew your prescription. So I said, go ahead. Not even checking my supply, what I had, because it's under refrigeration. When it arrived, I received it, and you have to sign for it. And then I received a bill from CuraScript. I'm on a support system through Pfizer to help concur the medical expenses between what my insurance pays versus what Anthem will pay. And then the support system picks up the balance.
Okay, slowly. You're through a group plan at your employer, no names?
Right.
So you're how young?
I'm 64.
So you don't even qualify for the donut hole or anything that over 65-year-old. Do you have Medicare A and B or nothing?
Nothing.
Okay, so no. You're truly on a support plan through Pfizer, which means your employer must have a cap on its prescriptions.
I'm not sure.
Yes.
Well, they haven't, since I've been on here.
No. Your employer, in order for you to need a support plan through one of the pharmaceutical agencies.
Okay.
What happened is a couple years back, the pharmaceutical companies were getting really hammered by the government, saying, look, you're becoming billionaires because of Lipitor, because of Enbrel, because of GlaxoSmithKline. My father's company used to be Burroughs Wellcome before it got bought out by GlaxoSmithKline. So they have such a lock on certain prescriptions. They were saying, you're bankrupting America. So the government went to the insurance companies, to the pharmaceutical corporations and said, if you create a support system where people can go to you, and if they qualify through hardship, you get a significant discounted rate on this prescription, right?
That's correct.
Right. So meaning, whatever the cost, Enbrel costs around $1,600 to $1,800 because it's an injectable. And the cost of it is so expensive, you and your husband basically are working to pay for a drug. So the support system states that if you go to the pharmaceutical companies, they get a write-off, they get a write-down. So the government gives them pure dollar-for-dollar write-off, whatever they're helping you with, just so you know.
Okay.
You are telling me that something went wrong in the delivery system. Why did you get a bill?
They said if you go over in a 6-month period, $4,000, it's $2,000 every quarter.
Okay.
That they have to pay, that you're liable. You can only get like a shipment every 3 months, 3 months. Every quarter is what
Have
it
you
is.
ever experienced a problem before?
No. It wasn't until this last shipment, which, according to Embryl, it should have come in September, like September 20th, so it's actually like 3 weeks ahead of schedule. And
Okay.
because of that, it puts me in another bracket, and that's why I'm liable to almost $1,500, which is quite a hefty sum of money. So they wanted CuraScript to post
This is a
date
tough
it.
one. All right, I got to think. I got to put my thinking cap on. Okay.
Embryo was on a conference call with my husband with CuraScript, and they wanted CuraScript to post date it instead of August 29th to September 20th, and they would not do it.
Right. That's because CuraScript is held by the governance rules of society, and that's fraud. They would technically be in trouble for fraud for post-dating it. You could maybe change it by a day if nobody was home and it was left on the front porch, but that far in advance to September 20th. There's got to be a reason.
I don't know why they would fill a script that
All right.
soon before it was due anyway.
I have an answer for you. I just had Carla Erickson on the phone. She's an attorney. Did you listen to her?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
We're going to work with you, with her, and the ombudsman. This may cost you maybe like a $50 or $60 consultation fee, but once they see an attorney is on it, there's no reason you should have gotten it early unless they needed to satisfy a quarterly earnings report, or they needed to satisfy some kind of board of director meeting and say, look how many people we helped out, and maybe you literally got tipped on the scale where they said, well, just release that one early and we'll worry about it later. Because they, too, have to satisfy government government contracts where they're helping out a certain number of scripts dispensed. Same thing with doctors. In order to get that golf tournament in California or Arizona, they've got to do enough pushing to get their, not the generics, but the brand name out there, if you catch my drift.
Right.
All right. You're going to call Victoria Veltri and Maureen Smith at the Ombudsman's office. You're going to call Carla Erickson. Call my staff. If you ever listen to the show, the phone number is 203-757-6099. Call my staff. We'll take this up off the air. If anyone knows the easy answer listening, please give me a call back, and I can get, you said your name was Linda, correct?
That's correct.
I can get in touch with Linda. Make sure you leave your name and number at the office so I can get back with you.
Okay.
God bless. Have a great day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. Oh, rocking and rolling. All right, Enoch. We have another one?
Yeah, we have one more. I don't know. We don't have that much time, so I don't know. You may want to take it off the air if you want.
Real quick. Go ahead.
Okay.
Michael Regan.
Michael, I just want to congratulate you for all the things you're doing.
I
for
recognize
people.
your voice. You're a good man. You're the one at the City Hall Cafe.
Yeah, this is Andy.
God
But
bless.
I just wanted to say, I love you for when you're working on bicycles for kids and everything else, because when I find parts and everything else, I build bicycles and razor scooters and wagons and give them to the kids in the neighborhood who have nothing. And I said, when you have it, share it with the other kids. And
Appreciate
I'll tell you
it.
what,
Andy, we got to roll. We got 4 minutes left. God bless. Thanks for
God
listening to the
bless
show.
you and your family.
Go.
I wanted to wish you back there a happy anniversary.
Appreciate it. Talk to you later. Have a beer with you at the City Hall. All right. Commercial break or no commercial break? Damn it. All right. Before we go to a commercial break, in case it runs out, Producer Nick, you've got to be watching his YouTube page. All right? It's www. And don't cut this part out, Producer Nick. www.Medicare and You. Just go to YouTube page, www.youtube.com. In the search engine, there's going to be a search engine on top. Medicare and You. If you want to be specific and not look for me, Medicare and You, WATR 1320. I usually have him sit here and talk to you about it, but he cuts himself out, and he's got a cold today, so I guarantee he won't like his voice or something. But I've got to thank people. My best friend, I have one, of course, my wife is my best friend. But my best friend in California, my best man in my wedding, my best man for my whole life, the guy's been there with me. He watches the show. Lukey out there, thanks so much for all your comments. Your mom, whenever I'm on the phone with her, tells me you watch the show. Thanks for believing in me early. my other best friend, my college best friend, who I've been friends with well over 20 years, down in D.C., Baltimore, D.C. area, but puts his life on the line every day for us. He's a good man. He watches it with his kids. And not for nothing, but you believed in me. I was insecure as heck at the beginning, and thanks for everything. We're going to go commercial break, and that's the end of the show. I will see you next week.